I got to tell you, Mark, God works in mysterious ways. We all know that, right?
Oh yeah.
And you're a man of God. Like, I thank God that, because here's the thing, Mark. You know how much I love you. You're like a brother to me. You're more than just a coworker and a friend. You're like a brother, and things you've done for me. It just, a long laundry list of things that you've done for me. But thank God, Mark, that God made you like one of the nicest guys on the face of the earth. Because if you weren't, shit would get fucked up.
Dave, I tell my wife this all the time. I thank God came into my life because I was on the path at an early age to be dead or in prison because I had no control. I had very low self-esteem, and I wanted other people to feel the pain that I was feeling. And if it was physical, mental, whatever it is, I wanted you to have some too. And one day I woke up and God said, no more. This is what I want you to do. This is your path that you walk from now on. And I've walked it ever since. I hope that everybody comes to that realization, because there's some guys out there, man. I'm gonna tell you, you want them on our team. We want them on the good side, because them on the bad side, it is not nice.
I gotta say, Mark, and because legit world's strongest man. Also, people talk shit, and you came back and you proved them wrong again by being the world's strongest man. Like that. First of all, that's one of the greatest. They could make a movie about that, where like you're the world's strongest man. You go into the world of wrestling, all these strong men start talking shit, and then you're like, okay, and you go back and you beat them all. Like that's a movie right there.
But that was that arrogance that I was talking about. Like in my prime, like I remember making a comment to Vince when they had the Brawl for All.
Uh-huh.
I said, Vince, there ain't nobody in this field that can beat me in a fight. If I get my hands on them, they're gonna hurt. And Vince said, that's why you're not doing it. He said, I am not gonna allow you to hurt my talent. And he was right, because I was angry at the time, and I wanted to prove how angry I really was. And he wouldn't let it happen. One of the best moves ever.
You know what? I never thought of that. At the time, I always wondered why you weren't a part of that. Now I know.
He said no.
Wow.
He said no. Because I went to him and said, oh, I'm in. He said, oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. I said, why? He said, you know why. Get out of my office.
You would kill people if you seriously.
Dave, like I had sparred with Butterbean before, and he knew about me in Louisville. In 2000, I was doing final exam time. Brock, Shelton, Ron Waterman, Bobby Lashley, Don Fry, everybody that came in there that could fight or wrestled or did something, I wanted to feel it. I wanted to see what it felt like. I won a lot more than I lost. I lost, but I won a lot more than I lost. And if I got my hands on you, Shelton let everybody else go first. He was smart, man. And I told you, Shelton got on top of me, like for whatever reason, he sprawled out and got behind me, and he wouldn't let me up off the ground. And Shelton was 100 and maybe 30 pounds lighter than me, and he wouldn't let me up off the ground. That's how skilled he was.
Yeah, he's legit.
So when I say that Kurt Angle and Shelton were different. When it comes to hand-to-hand combat, those two people were very different. They were the exact different that I was to people with strength.
So all honesty, Mark, you were able to do Brawl for All, and it's the finals, WrestleMania, you and Butterbean in the ring. What would the outcome be?
I would have picked him up and slammed him on his head. And it would have been the fastest loss that he ever had. Because I sparred with him. I was able to get into him and clinch him. And if I was able to clinch him, I was able to pick him up. I wouldn't have let him just hit me like he hit them guys.
Wow. Maybe it's for the best.
Now, he did hit me so hard working out one time that I had to go down to a knee. So there is that. He could have hit me. If you hit me in the head, then it's different. But I just don't feel like I would have let that happen.
And if you would have gotten close enough to clinch him, then
oh man, I'd have waist locked him, belly to belly. If I got behind you, belly to back, German suplex. Like it was, man, if front face lock, if you ever went head down and rushed me, Dave, like I don't even like to think about what I can do because I know what I could do. If I front faced you, it wouldn't be a choke. I would be trying to tear your head off. That's the difference in mentality of me versus somebody that fought to choke you out. Like, I'm gonna try to break your neck. If I get a hold of it, like I can't tell the story, oh, Mark Henry won a fight. They'll be like, yeah, of course he won a fight. No, I gotta tear your arm off. I gotta break. Man, he broke his arm. Wow. That's the different mentality.
But to be as strong as you are, as strong as you were at that time, Mark, like you have to have restraint because I would think that you'd be like a superhero. Like you would walk around, like if I had that, I would walk around like I was a superhero. You're like a real life superhero. I'm not playing.
Like it. I felt like it. I tell people all the time. I felt bulletproof at a certain point in my life. I thought that, man, if you pulled it, you better shoot me in the head. Because if you shoot me in the body, I'm gonna keep coming. And it's more the mentality and the fear of failure than anything. It wasn't about the win. I felt like I already won. I was me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm different.
You are different.
My thing is I didn't want to lose. Painful to lose. I cry. I told you I cry when I lose. I don't sleep when I lose. And thank God, man, I've been a winner my whole life because I've had a lot less torment than other people have had. But a lot of it is because I just don't want to lose at anything. My wife beat me at Uno. I'm pissed. Pissed. Hard to have a conversation with. Snippy. Dave, during the COVID, during the lockdown, big family Uno match. And my wife was winning. She was gloating. I threw the cards all over the house and walked out the room. I swear before God that happened. My kids were laughing. Dad, come back. No. Bam, slam the door. How pitiful is that?
That's how, listen.
That's the severity of me not liking to lose.
It's a bit extreme, especially when you're dealing with your own family. But at the same time, that's where but you shouldn't be because that's why you are where you are. A case in point, Mark is like you're the world's strongest man. You've accomplished everything in weightlifting, right? I mean,
Yeah.
then you become a WWE superstar, and then you start hearing some of the snickering that was going on in the strongman competition, and that world talking about you becoming a pro wrestler. And really, you bet on yourself, because if you would have gone back and lost, you probably would have lost your contract in the WWE, because Vince
I would
McMahon would be
have,
like,
no doubt.
so, all right, so bring me back to that point where, so you're a WWE, you have a contract with the WWE. People are talking, like, step me through that. What was going on in your mind, in your head at that time, if you don't mind?
During that time, I lost my mother, and I was very sensitive at the fact too. So I had some mental things going on. We in the world now that it's okay to talk about pain, frustration, anxiety, stress, like all of that stuff. It had compounded to the point to where I read in Muscle and Fitness magazine that I should not be calling myself the world's strongest man because I didn't compete in World's Strongest Man, that I was in pro wrestling. And kind of like, and you know what pro wrestling is.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave. That's slapping the bear with a switch. And it pissed me off to the point to where I reached out to the guy rest his soul, he's no longer here with us, and said, "Hey man, who is this guy?" And he's one of the top competitors at World's Strongest Man. I reached out to Dr. Terry Todd and I said, "Hey man, I want to do a strongman event against these guys." And they said, "Well, we're doing an event at the Arnold Classic, but you got to qualify," because I hadn't, been in the scene. So I had to go, and I said, "What do I need to do?" He said, "Well, you got to win the nationals or the world championships in one of the disciplines." So I chose powerlifting. I went and I won nationals and the world championships in powerlifting that year. I squatted like 956 or something, and benched, 581, and deadlifted 903. So I qualified. And not only that, but I broke the world record, had the heaviest raw total in the history of powerlifting. I go into Vince and I say, "Hey, I qualified for this World's Strongest Man contest. These guys are talking shit. They need to get hit." And Vince is like, "Mark, you don't have to be the strongest man in the world no more. It don't matter." I said, "It do matter." He said, you willing to risk everything we built here because you want to go prove a point to some guys that don't matter? I said, "Yes, because that's who I am at the end of the day. Before wrestling, I was somebody, and after wrestling, I'm going to be somebody. And I can't never let nobody tarnish my name." And he said, "Well, I mean, if that's what you want to do, I'll give you the time off to do it. But I just want to let you know," and this was his words, "we don't have room for the second strongest man here." So basically, you win or you lose your job. And I said, "Okay." And I walked out his office in a huff, mad at him for not believing in me. But knowing Vince McMahon, he did that on purpose.
Really?
Because he know me. And he knew that I was going to go back to the gym mad as hell, and I was going to win. Just like Terry Todd. Like I said, my coaches knew how to push my buttons. And my buttons are easy to push. It's like those Staples buttons, the big giant red button. Yeah. You just press it and says shit. That's how my button is. It's huge, easy to push.
Now you mentioned Dr. Terry Todd. I know that's somebody who's very important to you. He created the Arnold class, the Strongman Classic, correct? Like, yes. He was like Talk about your relationship with Dr. Terry Todd and how influential he was to you.
Terry was like an adoptive dad. Like, he was the guy that came to my hometown and said, "Hey man, you're special, right? You're not just the average lifter." He said, "I want you to take a drug test." And I said, "A drug test for what?" And he was like, "We want to know what you're taking." And I said, "I'm not taking anything." He was like, "I mean, Mark, look, I've been around for ever, and the stuff you're doing, nothing, it's not ever been done before. You're 18." He says, "No way. There's no way. It's impossible."
Wow.
And for Terry to say it's impossible meant that I'm an anomaly, that I shouldn't exist. And when he saw that I was not on drugs, then he was like, "You need to stop playing football, and you need to focus all your energy and attention on being the strongest human that ever lived. Because right now, at 18, you're the second strongest man that I ever saw in history. And you're 18." He said, "By the time you're 25, you'll be doing stuff that nobody's ever done." He was exactly right. At 25, I did things that no other human has done still to this day.
What do you have more pride in, Mark? Is it what you were able to accomplish in wrestling or what you were able to accomplish in weightlifting?
I would have to say in the arts of lifting, because it was not the stuff I did had never been done. Some still haven't been done. But I'm the only person to win in powerlifting. I was national champion multiple times in Olympic weightlifting, which is like being a shot putter and the world champion in the shot put and the world champion in the 100 meters. That kind of athleticism don't exist. There's nobody that did it. Ken Patera was close, but that's about it. Like, that was able to power lift and do Olympic lifting. But Ken was not good at the snatch because he wasn't flexible. Ken was awesome at the bent press. But the clean and jerk, he didn't have a great jerk. He still did 500 pounds, which is, for not being flexible, pretty damn good. But I'm the only human that's walking this planet that had 1,000-pound squat, a 600-pound bench press,
My God.
a 900-pound deadlift, a 400-plus snatch, and a plus 500 clean and jerk. It ain't never been done, and it might not ever be done again. I hope I live to see it, because I can't wait to give love to that kid that does it, because I'm
Now,
not like that guy.
for us mere mortals, okay, Mark, when you're talking about this, like, talk about the feeling, what you feel inside when you know that you've able to accomplish something that no one has ever been able to accomplish before.
Pride, man. Like, the stuff that make men that women don't understand and will never understand, because you're put on this earth to be the lion. You remember that scene in The Lion King when the little lion was yelling, was screaming, like, just like making as big a roar as he could to the hyenas,
Yeah.
and they would laugh and they were like, "Oh, we finna kick your little ass." And then all of a sudden you hear this big blood curdling roar, and all the hyenas go, "Oh shit," and they take off running. That's me. And the earth is the hyenas. In my prime, there was no equivalent to me. I take a lot of pride in that. A lot of pride.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Mark. I know we went a little bit off
welcome,
course
brother.
talking about that, but like,
Paul is pissed.
nah, Paul ain't pissed.
We got TNA to talk about.
Yeah, well, TNA can wait. I mean, that is. Because I don't think people realize. I don't think people who listen to this show every day realize like what you were able to accomplish. I mean, obviously they know that your background, and obviously they know that you're a Hall of Famer in the world of pro wrestling, in the world of the WWE. But I don't think they really realize what you accomplished outside the ring. Like I that needed to be talked about. They need to be shared, Mark.
I appreciate that, man.
People need to be reminded about that, Mark. It's important.
Well, I mean that's our history. As an American, I share that with every American that walks the planet. And people in the strength sports around the world, the Eastern Bloc countries, there were guys that I competed against that said, man, stop powerlifting and stop wrestling and just focus on the Olympic lifts. We want to see how much you could clean and jerk. So I was the guy that everybody wanted, but it's only one of me, Dave.
Yeah.
If I would have not wrestled, man, I would have been poor as hell. I never made a lot of money lifting. I did it out of love. I did it out of the fact that that's what God put me on this earth to do. And it gave me a platform with my mentality to go talk to kids and talk to other men who doubted themselves and other men that felt like, you know what, with my dominance, I'm going to be oppressive. I'm going to dominate everybody else. No, you could be a man of stature and a man of presence and not be overbearing. Big up other men for their successes. It don't matter if other people's successes don't match yours. It's just you can't piss on other people's dreams and their successes and the levels of success that other people have. And I found that to be the case with other people that I felt like were like David in the Bible, Samson. Like, just because you're the strongest or the toughest don't mean you got to act like it with people that are not. That's just the way that I viewed the world. I always did.
Our very own Denise Salcedo joins us. And of course, Fightful. She's all over YouTube. Actually, we're learning our YouTube page, Mark, from Denise's YouTube page. That's what she's like the measuring stick, Mark, when it comes to YouTube. That's right. That's right. She kills it on YouTube. She kills it on our airwaves. So let me welcome her in. Denise, thank you for the time this morning. Appreciate it.
What's up? Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, as always, Dave, for having me. Mark, it feels strange seeing you on a day that's not Saturday. It's taking me a second.
On the other side of the microphone.
Thank you. You know what? Now I feel more familiarized.
From California at 5'0" at 100 and nothing pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, the Taylor Swift defendant, her confidant, her battle warrior, Denise Salcedo.
Oh, I'm never getting a better intro than that. That was it right there, Mark. That was it. That was the good stuff.
All right, now, Denise, that's where we prop you up, but I got a bone to pick with you. I'm a little upset with you. I got to be honest with you. So I'm going to lay it out there on the line because we're family.
Let's go, Dave.
And that's what family does, right, Mark? When you have an issue, you put it right out there so you can solve it, that you can get over it. Denise, so I tuned in on Saturday because obviously I wanted to hear you and Jonathan Hood. I'm a big Jonathan Hood guy. He did a great job, Denise. As always, you did a fantastic job too. But I really tuned in on Saturday because I was like, all right, I got to hear from Denise about what Grayson Waller said about Taylor Swift. Because, Denise, you are like the pro wrestling defendant, as Mark just said, of Taylor Swift. When I think of the pro wrestling world and our community and Taylor Swift, I think of Denise Salcedo. That's the connection between the Swifties and the pro wrestling community. So I thought for sure that you were going to go on some epic rant about Grayson Waller and what he had to say about your favorite Taylor Swift, and you didn't say anything. Why were you biting your tongue? You have the platform to go absolutely crazy. Why did you hold back on Grayson Waller on Saturday?
Well, I'll tell you, Dave. So first of all, there was like a zillion things to talk about on Saturday. But with that being said, let's get into the Grayson Waller stuff and why I didn't say anything. So
okay,
when Grayson Waller was over on NXT, you know, the whole thing was, hey, I got to go viral. I got to go viral. Like that was the whole gimmick, right? I'm going to go viral. He's going to go viral. All of that. And I remember laughing on my Tuesday post show because I'm like, he's never been viral. Now, this was back on Tuesday's NXTs, right? So now, you know, that he's on the main roster. He's the guy that's got it. You know, he's said a lot of stuff on social media to get attention from people like The Rock. And it's worked. It's worked, right? Now, you know, Dave, Mark, you know this too. Nowadays, it is super hard to go. Well, I don't know if it's super hard, but it's a lot more of a bigger challenge to go viral, right? Because going viral, there's a lot of like pros that come along with it. We already know the cons. It can be kind of embarrassing depending on what type of thing you do to go viral. But the pros are you get people talking about you, right? You get media attention. And that's the way that it works. Now, right now, given the extraordinary success of Taylor Swift, she's done the Eras tour. She's about to become a billionaire. She's re-recording her albums. 1989 Taylor's version's about to come out. She's about to become a billionaire. She's out there at the NFL games getting all this additional attention for dating Travis Kelce. So right now, Taylor Swift is something that somebody that a lot of people are talking about. Now, because of that, a lot of people have been using her name to get attention. We've seen people do that on wrestling press conferences. We even saw it on AEW with MJF mentioning Taylor Swift. So I have to give credit to Grayson Waller for getting himself to go viral and get all of this media attention for simply mentioning Taylor Swift's name. Now, of course, I didn't like what he said, but it's Grayson Waller, and I think that was a really great way for him to go viral online and to get a bunch of media attention.
Now, for people who didn't hear, Grayson Waller was on the bump. They used to go head-to-head with Busted Open, but they failed miserably, so they switched days and times. But let's go back to what Grayson Waller said about Taylor Swift on the bump.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you what your thoughts on Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are, Grayson.
Hey, good for Trav. Like, I'm not the kind of guy who would settle for a 6, but each to their own. For me personally, you know, I like a bit of spice. I like a 9 or a 10. I know Austin does too. We're on the same level, but good for him for settling and trying his best.
All right, now, Denise, when you first heard that come out of Grayson Waller's mouth, give me the emotional fan here. What was the first thing you felt when you heard Grayson Waller mention Taylor Swift?
Well, first of all, she's a 13 because 13 is Taylor Swift's lucky number. So it's definitely a 13 right there. I think everybody knows that Taylor Swift is not a 6. I mean, come on. We've been seeing her for years. We've seen all of the photo shoots. We've seen all of the magazine covers, the music videos, the award show dresses. I mean, everything. Taylor Swift is not a 6. I'm going to say a 13 only because only because that's her lucky number. But if we were ranking on a scale, I would say rankless because she's like the best and the prettiest and the most gorgeous. So the number is not there. The number does not exist, but I'll go with 13 just because it's her lucky number. But the other thing that I was going to say is Taylor Swift is going to be a billionaire. If anybody out here thinks she's a 1 or a 2, I don't think Taylor Swift cares because she is about to be a billionaire.
Well, listen, she's no Dale Bozio, but I understand what you're saying as far as the ranking. You don't even, and you're too young to even remember who Dale Bozio was, but Dale Bozio is top on my list. But anyway, what you're saying is that she's so big, she's so popular, she's so good, she's so everything that you can't even rank her. She's unrankable.
Yes, correct. It's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
But
now,
what about the eyeball test? Come on.
What's the eyeball
mean-
test?
Like, you know if a glass is half full or if it's full. You know, you see it and you can tell. That's the eyeball test. And if I was gonna give her the eyeball test, I would say a 8.
All right, Mark. Now I know you're the world's strongest man, but
Everybody's
we're gonna go here. We're
rankable.
gonna go here. If you're calling Taylor Swift's eyeballs an 8, what are you talking about?
Her body is great, but like, I mean, I just say 8.
No, she's way more than that. And I'll tell you why, because there's also not just the beautiful beauty on the outside, but there's also the beauty on the inside. And with that comes, I think the beauty is also the generosity that she is with her fans, like the way that she brings them into her home to listen to her music, the way she shows up to her house, the way she gives them gifts on Swiftmas. I mean, there's so many little countless things that she's done. And then on just specifically for her fans. But then on top of that, you have the fact that she comes with talent. And I think when someone has an extraordinary talent, it almost adds to that glow. It adds to that shine. It adds.
See,
to
I
that
like what
beauty.
you're saying, Denise, because you
Yeah,
know what?
well, that's all you had to do.
Well, no, but this is why I get. See, what
You
I
ain't
was
tell me
upset.
you was gonna call the wolf.
This is what I get up. I got upset when I heard from Grayson Waller, not so much about the ranking. That's inconsequential. We'll throw that out the window. The fact that he was just doing the eye test. There's more to Taylor Swift. It's the total package of what Taylor Swift is.
That's why
I think
she's the defendant.
It's being disrespectful to Taylor Swift and to anybody, quite frankly, to first of all put them on a ranking. You got to look at the entire package,
Yeah.
like Denise just said.
And I didn't.
It's the beauty, it's the talent, it's her giving nature, it's what she does for the fans. You got to look at the whole spectrum.
Denise, when you said the giving nature and the Swiftmas is what you called it.
Swiftmas, yes.
Take care of her fans. Like that means something to me. That means she's probably giving back to the communities that she lives in. She's probably helping people of all kinds. Like that'll take you to a 12.
For her Eras tour, did you hear what she did for her Eras tour? So during that,
you're the defendant. Tell me.
Okay, so she gave these big bonuses to all of her truck drivers, to the dancers, the crew, pretty much anyone who goes on tour with her to all of these, these dates and everywhere that she's been traveling. For example, the truck drivers got a $100,000 bonus. Can you imagine getting a $100,000 bonus? And
Bro,
the Eras tour
start
isn't
driving
even
the truck
done
for
yet.
Taylor
It's not
Swift.
even done
Sure.
yet. And
I'm going to get my Class C license after this.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I don't know what she gave to everybody else, but that was the information that came out. But I think she spent $50 million or something. I forget the crazy amount of money she spent. Basically, giving back to the people and making sure that that they're well taken care of. And she does that. She's a nice person. And I have to say one more thing, because there's this thing, and I know you guys won't know about this, but there's this thing called Tay Voodoo. Now, Tay Voodoo is a real thing, Dave, Mark. I know you're being suspicious of me right now, but Tay Voodoo is a real thing. Basically, anytime someone talks shit about Taylor Swift or anybody tries to do something bad to Taylor Swift, karma comes and get them in the form of Tay Voodoo. And this is a real thing that for years and years we've been seeing over and over. I know you're nodding your head at me, Mark, but trust me, it is a thing. Tay Voodoo is going to get anybody who says anything awful.
All right, you say Tay Voodoo. All right, so we heard the comments from Grayson Waller about Taylor Swift. On social media, he apologized. So let's listen to Grayson Waller's apology.
It's been a crazy 24 hours. I know a lot of people are upset about a joke I made on the bump about Taylor Swift. And a lot of those people are new to me, don't know who I am. So for those people, my name is Grayson Waller, the hottest superstar in WWE right now. Madison Square Garden main eventer, host of the Grayson Waller Effect. And to sum everything up, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you define yourself by another woman and her accomplishments. It's kind of sad, to be honest. Now I got all these swamp donkeys in my DM saying mean things. Saying I'm a 0 out of 10. Hey, leave the rest to the professionals. Stick to trading friendship bracelets like a bunch of 4-year-olds, oh, Taylor's cat has more money than you. First of all, only 2 types of people have cats, witches and crazy old cat ladies. Second of all, with all this negativity going around, I think it's time for someone to bring some positivity. And that's what I do. I bring positivity, you know? I'm an inspirational guy. So for anyone who's had to deal with this before, I just need you to know that the haters are gonna hate. Hate, hate, hate. So all you gotta do is shake it off.
All right, so I actually like the song Grayson. That's terrible. But you know, Grayson actually gives good advice at the end of that apology. And he said, shake it off. Like, Denise, I think you got to shake it off. The Swifties have to shake it off. I don't think there should be any Tay voodoo when it comes to Grayson Waller.
Too late.
Oh, it's too late.
I turned my screen off, so I blocked it. I blocked the hate.
It's too late.
I blocked the hate and the Tay voodoo.
It's too late. Tay voodoo is stronger than any of us know, and I've seen it play out over and over
Not
again.
stronger than my Jesus.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've actually, I don't think especially in this day and age where everything is so like categorized, where I never thought you'd see the big blow up pop star like back, you know, like the way people talk about the Beatles back in the day, or Elvis, or even like Mark when we were growing up, like Madonna, like those, you know, pop stars that kind of just went to that next. That's Taylor Swift. Like, you got to give Taylor Swift a lot of credit. Like, she's been able to do things that I never thought that I'd ever see a pop star do. So I got to give her all the credit in the world. So
Dave,
there's one more thing.
You know what I like?
What do you like?
I like the fact that as a woman, she is doing this over all what the men are doing, all the groups are doing.
Can't do it. Can't compete.
She is, nobody can compete with her. It's incredible. And she has more followers than the entire NFL combined.
What?
Yes, sir. She has more social media followers than every player combined.
No.
Yes, sir. Every team combined.
My God.
That's how powerful her reach is.
It definitely is. And the other thing that I wanted to add was when Grayson Waller says that Taylor Swift fans live through the accomplishments of Taylor Swift. Actually, Taylor Swift's accomplishments inspire the rest of us to try and succeed in our own lives. And there's all of the, you know, these like scientific studies that come out, and you know, those things that people do. One recent scientific study came out that said that people that are Taylor Swift fans, like college students, score higher GPS because GPS. I'm on GPS.
GPAs. They know where they're going too.
Right now.
They know exactly
right now. This
Taylor Swift's done a lot for you.
They know where they're going, Dave. They got that GPS.
Got their own language now.
Well, those that are currently in college have higher GPAs because they're listening to Taylor Swift.
Make a right at the next light.
I have higher GPS because I'm not in college anymore and I drive everywhere. So my GPS skills are like top notch because I listen to Taylor Swift.
How about this? So Taylor Swift
Turn
has
left.
95 million followers on X and 274 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah, and there's still TikTok, Tumblr, believe it or not, Tumblr too.
TikTok, Tumblr,
YouTube. I mean, all of the places.
All right. So, Denise, this is fascinating to me. What's your favorite Taylor? Don't say all of them. What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
All Too Well, the 10-minute version. It's
All
the new
Too
one
Wild?
that came out. All Too Well, the 10-minute
All Too
version.
Well.
Yeah, there's
The
the
10-minute
original
version.
version, but then the 10-minute version came out.
Okay.
And the 10-minute version is like a must listen to. I think if you listen to it, you would really, really like it.
So
I'm
we'll
sure I
probably
will.
play it after the next break, just because Ariel heard that. She's so damn sharp
Yeah,
that
she
she
is.
would just play it.
All right.
I'm gonna listen to the 10-minute version after the show.
You
Now,
should.
I don't
You
want
should.
to.
In
I don't want
honor
it to
of
be.
Taylor Swift.
or honor to our very own Denise, Mark. Denise, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this now. Now, I don't want the 10-minute version, but I think the open on Saturdays, for you on Saturdays, they should make a new open with All Too Well as the music for the open. I'm saying that right now. As Mr. Busted Open, as the man who created this show, I want a new open made on Saturdays using All Too Well.
But technically, it's kind of a sad song, though, so it's going to bring a sad energy. I feel like we should get like a hyped up energy song. Look at Mark's face.
It's like a ballad. It's a sad song.
It's a sad song. I don't know if it's a show opening because it's pretty sad.
Shake It Off.
No, I don't want to Shake It Off because then Shake It Off is kind of like, then it's telling people like, don't listen to the show. Shake it off. Like,
no, I think we should do Ready for It because
Ready for It. All right.
Yeah, that's a really good hyped up song. It gets you going. It's like a really good high energy, and do
that again.
Good one.
Yeah, do that again, Denise.
Dun, dun. It's a terrible version of it.
All right. So now, so as the creator of Busted Open, I'm calling out. I want a new open for Saturdays, and I want Ready for It to be the song.
But here's the catch, though. There's a problem with that.
Oh my God, Denise, forget it.
There's a problem with that.
Just use the open. Just use the open that you already have. Forget it. Throw it out the window.
Hear me out. There's a problem with it. We have to wait until Taylor's version comes out. She hasn't put out the Reputation portion of Taylor's version. So right now, I don't want to use Ready for It because that's not Taylor's version. As you know, she's re-recording her music. So we got to support and only use the Taylor version songs. So for that reason, we got to wait until she comes out with Reputation, Taylor's version.
So, all right. So what, I'm confused now. So what version are you talking about with Ready for It?
Well, that was okay. So remember how she came out with all of her songs, all of her music, all of her albums, right?
Sure.
But then Scott Borchetta sold her music to Scooter Braun, who's like a big a-hole, and like he's a terrible person. And Taylor Swift was basically having to re-record all of her music so that she can own her own music. So she currently owns a lot of her music now. 1989, which is about to come out, is going to be Taylor's version, but she still needs to put out Reputation, which will be Taylor's version. So all of the songs and albums that say Taylor's versions are the ones that she has owned, aside from Lover, Folklore, and Evermore, because those ones she already owned under her new contract.
You know what? I think Grayson Waller had a point about this.
Wow.
Hey, now she started losing me.
Wow.
She started losing me now, Mark.
Okay.
Hey, Dave, I understand
this is a real
the publishing. It's a publishing issue.
Yeah.
Music is in the shitter right now when it comes to how you define what is your music. Taylor Swift is in the process of taking over her publishing and taking over all of the other songs that she did that somebody else has the rights to. And I understand it. So I will wait.
All right.
Wait.
So
in the meanwhile,
Mark, I'll tell you.
In the meanwhile, we'll leave it like it is.
We'll leave it like it is.
It ain't broke. Don't fix it.
We'll leave the open like it is. But then when Ready for It comes out, but the Taylor version of Ready for It comes out,
then we can switch.
Then we could switch. And that Braun asshole guy, he's going to be out of the picture, right? Yep. And then it'll just be Taylor Swift's, and then we could do Ready for It.
Taylor might come on the show now that we're giving love to her.
Well, maybe
you know what'll happen to this show if Taylor Swift comes on?
Ariel produces for you on Saturday, right?
Yes.
I'm going to send a message to Travis Kelce saying, "Hey, can you sweet talk Taylor into coming on?"
Ariel, you got to get Taylor Swift to come on the Saturday show. Ariel, you got to book Taylor Swift.
Easy work.
Easy task for Ariel right there.
Make that happen. Maybe Tony Khan could get her too, and they could start selling out again. Denise, appreciate. Sorry, I had to go there. Denise,
He's
thank
friends
you.
with Jeff Jarrett, so Jeff Jarrett can probably try.
There you go. See, everything is for a reason. Oh, imagine. Listen, the WWE. Let me see if I can get the terminology correct. And Denise, you speak young, I speak old. So if I speak out of turn, you can change the wording for me. But WWE is very thirsty to get to get Taylor Swift on WWE programming and to be a part of WWE. They had the plant that asked Io Sky about a match with Taylor Swift. They had Grayson Waller talking about Taylor Swift. So imagine if Tony Khan was able to get Taylor Swift to show up on Dynamite one night. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Get
Are
people
you kidding
talking.
me? They would get like millions and millions of views. Like, I'm not even lying. Millions and millions of views.
Hundreds of millions.
Mm-hmm.
Not just millions. You know, like you see somebody with 5 million, you go, oh my God, that had 5 million views. When Taylor Swift does stuff, it gets like 50 to 100 million views.
Maybe I can, you know what?
This is crazy.
If Taylor Swift, if you're listening, please come on the Saturday. So I know she listens. Taylor Swift, if you're listening.
Travis listens to the show.
All right. Well, Travis too. Get Taylor Swift to come on a Saturday edition of Bust It Open with Denise. And I'll give her a Dave LaGreca girl t-shirt for free. If she, if that,
Wow.
I'll give her a free.
I'll throw in a I'm different Mark Henry shirt.
There you go. So you'll get an I'm a Dave LaGreca girl t-shirt and an I'm different Mark Henry t-shirt. All we ask, 5 minutes with Denise on Saturday. Okay, go ahead.
Can you sweeten it?
Go ahead.
Can you throw in the sauce caddy with all of the sauces in it?
Yes, I'll make sure that she gets both my hot sauces.